Welcome to the Spiritual Mastery Summit, Mastering Higher Plane Consciousness in Everyday Life, where we'll dive into how to master being our divine self and living a spiritually sovereign life on Earth. I'm your host, Catherine O'Connor, with co-creator Divine Light Being and Light Tove. I'd like to warmly welcome you who are listening and inviting you to receive exactly what is aligned for you to receive through this call. And I'd like to warmly welcome our guest, Sophia Maa. Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you for having me here today. I'm excited and happy to be able to share with all of you today's session. So, thank you very much.
Sure. So, Sophia, since 2008, has been part of an international project of planetary ascension, helping to repair the crystalline grid of the Earth and removing veils of the old matrix to help humanity's ascension. She's been helping to dissolve the unconscious collective traumas that create suffering to raise the vibration into the frequency of love and compassion. She's been working on the body's alchemical process to transition into the divine human blueprint and is also activating the light body as part of our next evolution as a species. All her teachings and healings have one focus: how to master life to fully embody your soul and divine self, to live your highest reality of harmony, peace, abundance, wisdom, and supreme love. And today we'll be diving deep into that topic of how to master life. Uh, so that feels like a really good place to start. Um, what in your expertise or in, I know you're a channel, so I know that you may channel, and what are the core elements and stages of this process of mastering life? What needs to come through at this point for our listeners?
Okay, I would like to start with why do we experience suffering? Because this is what we are going to lead us. What, how can we master life? So we are experiencing suffering because there's something that we are experiencing that we reject. We don't want to experience that, and um, that's why we feel that things should be different that we want to. We have desires that they are not fulfilled, and this is when we create resistance in life. And because there's resistance in life, then we feel this frustration or pain or suffering, and this creates even more a wobble in our emotions, the mental mind, and the way that we experience life, which is with friction. And the only way that we can shift that is understanding why do we have these certain desires right now, and why we can sublimate these desires to find the ultimate desire that is behind all those desires. This is when we will start to connect with the true desire that gives us the fulfillment. So I would like to have an exercise for all of you. I would like you to close your eyes for a moment, and I will ask you, what are your desires right now? Let's say that you want more money, and you imagine that you already have all the money that you were asking for. And now let's say that you want a fulfilling relationship, and you imagine yourself that you find this relationship, and now you ask for the new house, the job, the success, all your desires. And now you start to fulfill all of these desires that you were craving for. How do you feel now? Do you really feel fulfilled? If you are truly honest with yourself, you will see that there's something missing. You will feel that there's a part of you that is craving for more. Now that we have fulfilled all your desires, what is the true desire behind all of this? And if you look closer and you are open to receive, the deepest desire is the desire to know the divine. Because this is the part of you that separated when you incarnated on planet Earth. And that part that feels separated wants to return back to home. And what is home? This love that is unconditional, that is you, that is eternal. All that comes and goes, it doesn't fulfill you, because once you have it, there's more that you need, and there's more than you need. And this happens because you come from a place of lack. And nothing can fulfill you when you come from a place of lack. Now, we are going to sublimate all these desires. And we start now. Feel all these desires sublimating and going into the heart. If your heart is closed, you cannot connect with your true self. And we are now opening your heart even wider. Feel your heart opening. And as you open your heart, all these desires ascend to the heart. Now you can truly connect with the one true desire that you have, which is the final connection with yourself that will give you the true fulfillment of life. Connect with the heart, connect with the light that emanates within the heart. And you will start to feel a kind of bliss. That doesn't need nothing from the external life. It comes from this beautiful connection that you start to have right now. This light that is within you. This light that emanates love, that emanates peace, that emanates harmony. Keep opening your heart and keep receiving this frequency of pure unconditional love that comes from your divine self. As you start receiving more and more this light, you start completing more and more yourself, because you allow your divine self to be embodied into the physical expression, and then you become complete. And I receive now from the beings of light that are here supporting us that there are some of you that still feel lost, that still are in resistance. And now, what is the resistance? And here we are going to explain the next part. What is the resistance? Well, your soul came here on planet Earth with a contract that wanted to fulfill. This contract is about completing any part of you that you were unable to complete another lifetime, or maybe in your childhood, or maybe from your family lineage. Some of you may have issues with money, some of you may have issues with health, some of you may have issues with relationships or with jobs, and this is your contract. This means how you complete your contract. All the resistance that you had, all the different issues that you had with other people, with love, with your health, it's about completing all this karma so that you can master life. How do you complete this karma? All the energy wants to complete itself. Every time you judge, every time that you complain, every time that you feel victim, you create an energy that is out of love, which is the only frequency that is real. Therefore, everything that is created out of love wants to return back to its true origin, which is love. This means that all that you created out of judgment, out of pain, out of suffering will come back to you so that you can choose love this time. And that's the key to fulfill your contract. So every time you experience something that you don't want to, it's because this is the way that life is pushing you to gain mastery over this aspect of your life that is not in harmony. And this aspect of life that is not in harmony will push you until you fully accept with love the lesson, with gratitude the lesson. Let's say that you needed to empower yourself because you gave your power away in many aspects in life, in relationships, in your job, in whatever. And then life gives you opportunities in which you feel challenged because every time people take over your power and you give your power again over and over again, if you do not learn the lesson, life will throw you even more difficult opportunities for you to finally say, I'm going to empower myself. Stop. This ends with me right now. The very moment that you say that, the very moment you empower yourself, you reclaim your power, in this moment the lesson is complete. And it won't come back again. You already fulfilled your soul's promises, your soul's contract to fully empower yourself in this lifetime. And this can happen with many different aspects. What is your aspect? The one that you feel challenged. Instead of feeling the resistance, I don't want to feel that anymore. Accept the lesson. What is this trying to teach me? What is the gift behind this situation that I'm experiencing? The very moment that you surrender the ego, the very moment that you surrender the resistance and you accept all that is coming to you, and then you find the final lesson and you are grateful for the lesson, you have mastered this aspect. You have mastered the part of your life that was missing to return back to you, to the fullness of who you are, to the wholeness of who you are. And then this is when you have crossed a threshold. So what requires to fulfill all your contracts? Surrender to every challenge that you experience. Stop resisting and embrace the challenge that is offering you the opportunity to overcome something that you couldn't before, so that you can feel fulfilled, so that you can embrace your life, so that when you master life, then all the lessons are complete. And that there's only peace. What happens when there's no resistance? What happens when there's no challenge that triggers you anymore? There's only bliss, there's only happiness, there's only joy, there's only abundance. So that's the key. Instead of keep complaining for what's happening in your life, instead of rejecting what's happening, instead of judging, instead of trying to push away, embrace the gift that is coming to you, even if it's painful, because it is through the pain, it is through the acceptance of what's going on, it is through the awareness of the gift that is behind this situation that you are going to master the aspect. And that's another important thing to understand, is that many people try to find someone else to help them to master or to heal the process that they are going through. You may find your guides through embodied people that may help you to understand your lessons, that may help you to walk your path. But this is your path, and you need to walk your path. You need to embrace your lessons. You need to find the mastery behind the lessons. So look for someone that is helping you and guiding you through the process in a way that empowers you, in a way that helps you to understand that this is your contract that you came here to fulfill. Why? Because you want to master life. You need to become the master of your life. This is when you find source within you, when you understand that you were always complete, that you were always fulfilled, that you were always all that you were looking for in the external life. And this is when you truly find fulfillment, bliss, love, peace, and every aspect of life that was missing. I don't know if there's any questions that you would like to ask or.
I feel like we're so Toth is very present, as you know, that I channel Toth, and that was a 100% channel that really has, as Toth is present, he's saying, and I'll just let him come through. So as a 100% embodied channel message, that was a 100% embodied transmission that in the higher planes and is being asked to be downloaded for individuals who are currently listening, and those who may, for those of you who are listening to this, to fully receive 100% that which has been channeled by Sophia Maa with her counsel. And we are here to support or to bring in more of the embodiment codes to support you to fully receive that which has been brought through, the transmission that's been brought through. So what we are bringing forward as we are speaking is more of the transmission sacred form that supports you to embody this message, to fully receive it. And what's happening a little bit for some of you, as was channeled by Sophia, is there is what you could call judgment, or which Sophia has named as resistance. And this is something that has been created within the mental field. It's been created in the mind, when the mind and the ego have become merged. The ego itself is a divine deity or deity, and the mental mind is here to be in service of the divine within you. When the mental mind and the ego merge, or when the mental mind almost infiltrates the divinity within the ego, what starts to happen is you start to get this form of resistance that comes out in what you call judgment. Judgment is nothing more than your deep desire to find the divine. So it is a stream of consciousness which is in the stream of consciousness of discernment. It's simply that what's happened is it's got infiltrated in a particular way. And so if you can allow, there you go. So there's a little bit of shifting for you. If you can allow the discernment that resides within the stream of consciousness of what you call judgment to be that which the mind is bringing forth, this powerful ability to discern between light and dark, to see the light within everything, to allow the mental mind to hold this frequency of its divinity, which is essentially wisdom, higher wisdom, and that is connected to the heart rather than the ego, to allow the ego to develop or to come forward in its divinity as its divine self, which is essentially underneath that is the soul. There we go. So this also connects to what Sophia brought forward around really connecting to the soul's desires to really receive that what's underneath all desire is the desire to know the divine, to come into the vibration of love, and to know that the divine ego is holding the stream of consciousness, holding the way through. It's like the needle on a compass. So it supports you to stay in alignment or in vibration with the divine within and to act in a way in life that is mastery that comes from the divinity within. So we are speaking of all this to support you to allow the separation between the mind and the ego, to support you to let the judgment just soften and to support you to come into more of that, what you call the wise mind, which is deeply connected to the heart, and to support you to allow this divine ego to be the way through the act or that in the vibration of what you call the divine masculine. So this is what we're adding in, which are partly embodiment codes. Yes.
And I will add, um, when we speak about discernment, you can use discernment to understand if your thoughts, your words, and your actions are in alignment with your highest timeline possible. If you create words, thoughts, and emotions that create separation, that create judgment, that create suffering, you are separating even more from yourself, and you are going to suffer even more. When your thoughts and words and actions come from a place of love, come a place of unity, come from a place of the heart, from the place of love and compassion, this is when you start unifying the different aspects of yourself. You start unifying with life. You start going to the current of life. You start accessing a higher frequency and accessing a higher timeline. And this is when you start gathering the different pieces of yourself. And the more that you gather pieces of yourself and they return back to you, you start to become more whole, more complete. All the missing parts that you were looking outside of you, they start to return back to you. That's why it's so important. Return back to the heart, because when you go back to the heart, you return to the integrity, the purity, the compassion, the love, the peace, the harmony. And when you emanate out into the world, that's what comes back to you. Because all that we attract is all that we emanate. You can only attract what you are, not what you want. Therefore, you need to become what you want to attract. And this only happens when you raise to the frequency of your divine self aspect that is within you. You are going to connect with that when you embody this frequency, when you embody that way of living. And what is the ego mind? the ego mind is connected to the aspect of yourself that thinks that you are separate from all. It is the part of you that holds all the records, all the information through all your experiences of suffering. And it tries to remember, do not do this because you are going to suffer. It tries to avoid suffering, but avoiding what you have experienced before. And yet it comes from a place of separation. Never the ego mind is going it's never going to help you to find fulfillment, because it is trying to avoid you to go through the experience that you need to fulfill to finally complete all your contracts. The very moment that you just surrender the ego mind and connect to the divine mind, this is when all the life just flows with ease, with grace, and everything is given to you. There's no resistance, therefore, you allow fully the divine to send you all needed in your life. And this is when the real shift happens, when you stop resisting life, when you stop pushing, when you stop trying from the effort and the heart pushing, when you stop all of this and you just allow this divine aspect that just wants to support you in all ways possible, this is when your life will start to improve dramatically. This is when life really becomes easy. And we are coming to a moment in our life that this is easier than ever before, because many beings are holding the frequency for that to happen on planet Earth. So right now it's the easiest time ever in which you can just connect with your divine self, this aspect that is going to just send you all that you need in every moment, even before you know you need it. And life is going to feel like miracle, just because things are happening even before you know you need them. And then suddenly you understand why they came into your life. And this is what took you. Just go first through this acceptance of all that is occurring in your life and shifting your perspective. This is not a problem. This is not something that you need to avoid. It's something that you need to accept and embrace, because the very moment that you understand the lesson, the very moment everything shifts in your life. And resistance dissolves, fear dissolves, and all that is left is love.
And we would add that fear is a byproduct of what you call the avoidance. And so, although fear can feel very real, and it is real, it is a what we call a consequence of separation consciousness, of operating out of lack. So once, as you step more into the acceptance and embracing of what it is that is in your life, and allow the emanation of the divine within you to pierce through the experience, to see it for what it truly is, both a gift, a way to complete the contracts, and an illusion, because it is simply an illusion. And you pierce through and you recognize the divine love within the situation, within yourself, within every individual, within every being that is part of that which you are experiencing, the situation, the more that the fear will naturally dissolve. So you do not need to do anything to dissolve fear. You simply need to step into the fullness of your life, embrace that which is present, be with it, accept it, and ride through the wave of the discomfort to this other side, to the divine, from separation to unity. This is all you need to do. And we would add one small thing because we can, one little tip is that for those of you that might be more in the beginning of this journey, simply look within the communication that you use to find what is the most accepting and loving way to be with this situation, to communicate. Ana tita ake. And one of the most efficient ways is always begin with the word I. I feel, I perceive, I understand. And then we'll pass it to Sophia because there's something coming through.
Yes, and right now there's a gift for everyone that is listening to. And this is the Divine Mother that is coming through. And she offers you to, she creates an altar, and you can offer to her everything that you would like to overcome, all this pain, suffering, fear that you may experience right now. And she's offering you to release all of that, all that you are ready to release, all that you are ready to just let go, all that you do not are not going to hold on anymore. So I invite you, just offer to her as an offering to the divine, as an offering to God, or whatever you believe in. Make this offering what you are ready right now to let go of, what you are ready to say no more, what you are ready to just overcome and stop fighting for. And when you feel ready, the divine mother will start to just lift this issue out of you. Hayania akayania shantiana yatitia kayaya shanian tayania kakayania shatia akayayan tatiana yaya shananayaka. Feel the issue at hand dissolving, rising in frequency. And sublimating into the frequency of love. There are some more fears that are here present, yet it is needing your willingness to let go of these fears, to offer these fears so that they can be removed out of your field. So this is the last opportunity for you today, and you can re-listen on the replay if you want to, and if you are ready in the future timeline to just remove it, to make this last offering, and she will remove out of your field all that you are ready to let go now. And with that, we are complete.
And with that, we are complete. There is so much happening within the higher planes and so much happening in your individual fields that we offer you a violet flame, a ruby rose red, and a yellow gold to support you to integrate this at the level of the divine within, so that you can find the deepest love within you that is your true essence, that is your connection to your true self, that is your connection to the divine within, with love and with light. The transmissions are complete. And we invite Sophia, as she is ready, to speak about that which she can offer you beyond this call, as both a way to receive a gift from her and to deepen a connection even more, so that you can ride the waves of her rose light and journey deeper into yourself with a guide that is truly embodied with the love and the light of her own divine self.
My free gift for the ones that are listening to the call is a 4-day challenge in which we are just going through the four areas of your life as pillars of stability to create a balanced life and a harmonious life. And this is how to master the physical plane and also the physical body, so that this is the key to prepare to embody more of the divine into the physical dimension. Then the second pillar is the element of water linked to the emotions. Emotions are the energy in motion, and they are powerful when directly, properly. So you need to learn how to master your emotions, and we go through all this aspect. The third pillar is the element of air, and it is connected to the mind. How to master your thoughts to connect with the higher mind, and how we can shift all these mental loops that we go into sometimes. The fourth pillar of light is the element of fire, which is the fire of the spirit, and this how we go through this mastery to go into the path of enlightenment, illuminating the shadows and revealing the truth of your divine self. So this is a 4-day process that gives you tools to use in your daily basis, in your daily meditations, after you understand how to overcome every aspect of your life, so that you raise into the highest frequency in all areas of your life in a way that is more balanced, more harmonious, and more aligned to the higher path. I hope that this will be helpful for you, because there comes with a lot of toolbox and a lot of tools that are going to help you in your daily life, and this will help you to shift the way that you may understand many things that are happening in your life. So it's really, really helpful.
Beautiful. So it sounds like a very both practical and energetic, beautiful, beautiful toolbox with, like, feels very packed, like it's got a lot in it for individuals. So yeah, encouraging. Yeah. So I like, this is more me now. It's stepping forward. Like Toth has stepped a little bit further back. And I would really encourage you to pick up Sophia. She's a beautiful channel, a beautiful individual to be with and to work with. So those of you who are feeling called and getting the nudge, and even if you're not even sure if you're getting the nudge, then pick up the free gift, because it's going to be very useful to move into more of that divine self, more of that sense of actually connecting deeply to yourself as a divine being, as a love being, in this life. So on earth, without having to kind of go up into the higher planes and just live in the higher planes, you can actually embody the divine within through using tools like these. So really encouraging you to pick up that free gift. and deepen this connection with Sophia.
Yes, this is a very practical way to um, use it in your daily basis, because actually what this is about is embodying more of your divine self into the physical expression, not to live the physical expression. So how can we live a daily life that is more aligned, in which we can master the different aspects in which we create resistance that we were sharing before, and how we can live a more harmonious life, more connected, more with ease and grace, with flow. And these tools are very powerful in your daily basis, so you can just go with the flow of life.
Beautiful. Go with the flow of life. Um, Thank you so much, Sophia, for being here and channeling for us. And kind of interweaving such beautiful experiences with higher wisdom, for us, for me, and for those of you who are listening. And as a way of also completing, is there a way in which you would like, or the guides that you work with would like to bring through a final message or something to leave our beautiful listeners with?
Well, the guides are still here, and their message is always the same: return to the heart and listen to the inner guidance. And discernment comes from when you listen to the heart, when you stop listening to the mind and connect with your intuition, what's the right thing, because it comes from a path of righteousness, a path of what's the highest and best good for all. This is um, the right next step forward when you have any doubt, when you need to discern. And always discerning between fear and love. It's about choosing love, because fear is the absence of love. Fear is what creates even more separation and drags you down into the frequency that creates even more suffering. So return to the heart, connect to your intuition, because this is the language of your soul, the language of your divine self, and this is the language to ascend into the path, into the fulfillment that we were speaking of.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much for all that are here listening to this channel message, that are going to help them to come more into unity and more into this new transition that we are experiencing, this year of big changes and big transitionings.
And yeah, thank you, listeners, and we will complete.